What is the primary objective of the Cerebral Palsy Sports Federation of India?
CPSFI, Cerebral Palsy Sports Federation of India, was formed with the purpose of promoting and developing sports for persons with disabilities. CPSFI was technically 5 years old, but then the persons, the administrators working in this organization have a lot of experience, nearly 20 years of experience in disability sports. So CPSFI was formed because 1.3, 1.4 crore people with cerebral palsy in India is a huge number, and we thought there should be a dedicated organization which caters to this community and help them take up sports. So we as a federation do cater to Paralympics, and when it is Paralympics, the sports or the events, the games are adapted to persons with CP. So the persons with cerebral palsy have to understand football from the point of view of how it is played at Paralympics. So it requires them to understand the rules, regulations, the modifications of the game. So this is something we do across all the sports for persons with cerebral palsy. And being able to reach out to these people and build awareness amongst them about sports for them is been a humongous task, and that's one of our core activities. Apart from, okay, we build awareness, then there is we need to identify the right sport. Once we do our awareness programs, which is called Sangiti, we have to help the children understand what is the right sport for them. We involve persons with in the medical domain. We involve physiotherapists, and we help the child understand what is the right sport for him or her, which is called our Pratibha Yogyata program. My nephew, who has hemiplegia, and we have to identify what is the right sport for him, so he performs well and it doesn't aggravate his condition and make him further, it shouldn't make it difficult for him. And then we have Prashikshan, where we help nurture the talent. Once we identify the sport for the child, it could be swimming, then we help the child understand, first train in swimming, then we help the child understand the rules and regulations of swimming with respect to Paralympics and the IPC rules and regulations. So all this happens in our Prashikshan level. And then, of course, the final is the Pratiyogita program, where there are programs or competitions at different levels, starting with district level, then there is state level, then we have the national level sports, and of course, finally, we prepare them for participation in international competitions. So this is another huge aspect of what we do, apart from building, awareness about cerebral palsy sports.
How do you approach contacting various organizations across the country?
There are a good number of NGOs who have already done a lot of work in the disability sector. So we partner with them, and they are always willing, or they were always looking for someone who could help them introduce sports in their organization, because they always had physiotherapy. But then when we say sports can be a form of therapy where the persons don't have to feel depressed sitting in a clinic, have to monotonously go to a clinic for physiotherapy. If they take up sport, it becomes an natural, enjoyable form of therapy. So the moment we start talking to NGOs about this, they are willing to introduce sports in their organizations. So this is one way that we have tried to reach to the population across the length and breadth of the country.
Do you collaborate with the government as well?
Yes. So the government has recognized CPSFI as a National Sports Federation. There is something called NSDC, National Sports Development Code of 2011, which mandates the organization which can be recognized as NSF. So we are one of the NSF recognized by the Ministry of Sports to promote cerebral palsy sports in India. So that way, we work with the ministry. The ministry supports us in our endeavor. And there are a good number of programs for persons with cerebral palsy. There are huge monetary benefits, job opportunities when the children start performing at various levels. I would like to give you an example of a child. We were conducting an awareness program in Karjan district in Gujarat. and it was a small NGO with about 50 people. When I say people, it was the parents and the children who were there. And we always insist the parents should be part of these conversations, because there could be somebody with a severe disability, and if they decide to take up sport, it is the parents or the siblings who has to contribute to their travel. So we make sure the siblings or the parents are involved in this conversation, and we built awareness, and we moved out from there. And there was this one girl from a remote village in Karjan. She decided to take up sport. She was just 12-year-old, and that's when Gujarat government had organized the Khel Mahakumbh for CP, and this child participated. Her expense was taken care of by the government, and then she won 2 medals, and she goes back to her village, and the entire community is so happy for her. She's happy for herself, and she inspired a lot many individuals to take up sport. Not just her parents also contributed, because the moment they accepted the girl and allowed her to take up sport, many other parents thought this is something nice for their children too. So many children enrolled for sports in that particular NGO. It's called Umeed in Karjan district. So our experience doing these awareness programs have always been positive, and a lot of learning for us too.
In the past 5 years, have individuals with cerebral palsy associated with your organization represented India in any sporting events, regardless of their location in the country?
There are a good number of children with cerebral palsy participating in international levels. Para Athletics Championship are underway in Kobe, and a girl by name Preeti Pal, who is a person with cerebral palsy, participated, and she won a medal. So there is another girl, Bhagyashree Jadhav, who won in discus throw. She's on wheelchair, but she participated and she's won. So there are a lot many athletes who have been participating at the international level and doing good for themselves and inspiring a huge community of individuals to take up sport.
Are you planning to aim for the next Paralympic Games?
The Paralympics, the next one is 24 in August, September. There are children, there are sports persons who are already selected and who are qualified for Paralympics. But then we have been working with the ministry on a strategy for 2036. If India is pitching for Olympics, Paralympics comes along with it. And I'm sure the Ministry of Sports has a strategy worked out, because there are, if you take 2020 Tokyo Paralympics, there were 1668 medals in Paralympics, and 135 medals were just in the cerebral palsy athletics category. So 135 is a huge number. Of course, we came back with 19 medals, which was a history by itself, but then we know we have a lot more to do, keeping in mind the 1668. And if we are hosting Paralympics, then we have to have a strategy so we do well for ourselves and be on top of the medal tally.
What is a roadmap for individuals with cerebral palsy who aspire to pursue a career in sports?
Starting at district level, there are a lot of children who perform well, and with the medals and certificates they win, the respective state governments do offer them cash rewards. And once they start doing well at the state level, every state has its own state sports policy, because sports is a state matter, and they have their own policies. Like Haryana tops in the country with all the offers that they have for persons who win medals. For example, the athletes who participated in Para-Asian Games recently, just for participation, they get 7.5 lakh per person, just for participation. This in spite of the government taking care of every of their expense to travel, go and come back and participate. So this 7.5 lakh is probably to cover their training and whatever nutrition and etc. that is required for them. So the athletes who come back winning medal, their cash prizes run in crores. If it is a Paralympic medal, gold medal is like 3 crores, 6 crores, depending on what is the color of the medal. So that's Haryana, and Gujarat, Odisha, all of these states have their own reward schemes. Recently, the ministry, because we are a recognized NSF ministry, introduced Khelo India for Disability Games for the first time. So in the inaugural edition, CPSFI was asked to be responsible for the conduct of CP football for boys. And we did that, and all the boys who won medal, the 1, 2 and 3, gold, silver and bronze, they are entitled to jobs, and if they are already in a job, they are entitled for promotion. So sports, definitely, this is something not many people understand, that sports can be a career too for them. So during our awareness programs, we do make it a point to touch upon this as well, because there are some children who take up sports because this is one form of livelihood for them.